The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time. The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers. Back to throw Montana. Step left throws. This fight is over. Floyd Mayweather has a knockout victory over Ricky Hatton. Smiling. Oh! He slapped him! Conor McGregor is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world! Oh! Unbelievable!
Put the countdown mic up! Hell no!
This is episode 1 of the Championship Rounds podcast, hosted by yours truly, Marcel Pierre. That's me. Today I have on high definition. Just kidding. XOBaby. Switch the moniker up, switch the style as well. We'll get into that, plus a whole lot more. And you know we'll touch on the sporting world, or it wouldn't be Championship Rounds, would it?
Riding, riding, like it's stolen, stolen. You stole it, you stole it. It's a vibe, it's a vibe with you. I'ma ride for you. Hit my phone, you can slide me through. I'ma slide on you, then I'ma slide in you. It's a vibe with you. I'ma ride for you. Hit my phone, you can slide me through. I'ma slide on you, then I'ma slide in you. Slide, I'ma slide on you. Pick you up and hit the road, we vibing in a coupe. Fuck the club, I just wanna take a ride with you. Girl, tonight I'm doing anything you tryna do. So
All right, we got XOBaby here on Championship Rounds with yours truly, Marcel Pierre. We're going to be getting to it with him, chopping it up. He's definitely in the music industry. We're going to go the ins and out of that. And of course, this is Championship Rounds. So we are going to make our rounds around to the sporting world as well. Taylor, we just had a discussion. We had a discussion on whether he wanted to just go by his moniker or if I could use his government name. And he said, go ahead and tell him what you said.
Yeah, just call me XO. You know, we ain't gonna throw the governments out there. You know.
Yeah, don't throw the governments out there. My bad. I said I wouldn't do it, and the first thing I do is do it. So
Hey, shit, we known each other too long. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes. You know.
that is the truth. So how you been doing lately, man? How's life been treating you?
Man, not too bad, man. Honestly, just been trying to keep my nose out the bullshit and stay focused on the music. Really, just trying to get everything together so I can go full time with it next year.
You still working hard at 9 to 5?
Yeah, unfortunately, man. But like I said, next year my plan is to go full time with this. For now, I'm just working and stacking the money up.
You got to stack the money up, man. You need money to live and definitely to support your career as well.
Yeah, this equipment ain't gonna pay for itself. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you're not lying, bro. Because trust me, I know how expensive equipment is, and you need way more equipment than I do. So,
Facts,
so since we went ahead and broke the ice, I'm gonna go ahead and just ask you. How did you get started in the music industry, and how long have you been doing it now?
I've been making music all together since I was 9. I grew up around it. My cousin Goldeneye, my dad managed him and he made beats. He was really one of the only people around here at that time that had their own studio,
Yeah.
making their own music type shit. So he gave me my first computer with a program back then it was called Fruity Loops. Now it's just called FL Studio. But it was like literally, I'm pretty sure it was the very first version of Fruity Loops that I had. And I started making beats there and it just kind of continued on. I made beats for several years up until I think my freshman years when I started actually writing music, and then I didn't record music until my junior year. 'Cause nobody I knew had a studio that I could get into until then.
Now was this a thing that you did solo mostly, or did you have friends that are close that you got into it with?
Well, I grew up like basically the people around me started making music in the city and shit. So like that's what motivated me. Once I realized like back then he went by Young Freeze Marquise. Uh, Once he got his own studio, started putting music out, I realized it was possible. Like this isn't something that I have to like get a record deal to do, go to a major studio. Like I can get my own setup or find somebody that has their own setup. That's when people started realizing, like I said, it's possible. So people started doing that. So I had a group of friends that did that back then. We fucking recorded on a you remember that video game Rock Band?
You know I do.
We took that Rock Band mic, wrapped a sock around it, tied it up in the closet with a hanger, started recording with that.
Yeah, y'all are just ghetto as hell,
Hey,
huh?
just ghetto shit, man. But hey, it got the job done. You know what I mean? Like we started
Oh
releasing
yeah.
shit, and it started like motherfuckers be walking around school singing our songs and shit. So it worked for the time. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, bro. I sing your songs now, not just the ones that I know about.
right, right. So like
So
that's
you started off as High Def. I mean, why did you change the name to?
actually, to be honest with you, if we want to go even further back, when I was in high school, I was known as YT, and still to this day, like my old homies that I started rapping with, they still call
Hmm.
me YT. You know what I mean? Which stood for Young Tay.
Young Tay. Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. So like
So,
it
but why did you switch your moniker from High Def to XO Baby?
uh so high def just doesn't it didn't resonate, as a artist. Like high def worked whenever I rapped in my old style. Like, how I used to rap bar for bar, you know what I mean? I was coming for your neck, rapping hard.
You can't. Yeah, you
And
came.
yeah, and I transitioned into a more melodic based sound. And for me, high def just didn't fit, and it just wasn't something that would stick with people, you know what I mean? So like I ended up actually I was scrolling through Instagram, and I seen somebody, like I think I was listening to one of the baby artists, Lil Baby or Dub Baby or whatever. And then I was scrolling through Instagram, and like somebody's page had EXO on it, and it kind of just like clicked right there. I don't know exactly what, you know, fueled that, but it just kind of clicked like XOBaby. And so I made the transition, and then I dropped my first release under XOBaby, and it kind of took off. Like people loved it and shit. And then that's where I'm at now with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, particularly me, from my opinion, like I like both of them. So I feel like you could have went either way. You feel me? So, and I gotta ask because I already said this to you like before. I'm a huge Drake fan, huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, did the OVO XO influence you at all?
No, no. Which like I can't say it didn't completely, like as far as the name, no. Actually,
Yeah,
I can't say that because like I had no intentions of like biting from them or anything.
right,
Like it didn't come from them at all. But I've always been a Drake fan, so I can't say it influenced my music. So it kind of
right.
does, run hand in hand. But no, that I didn't get influence from that. No.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So you already dwelled off into this a little bit. I wanted to ask you, how has your music changed, since you made the switch from High Def to XO Baby?
Like I said, it's more melodic based. I don't get me wrong, I still will spit bars. Like I got a couple tracks that I haven't released, that I plan on releasing eventually. I don't know when, but that I go in with the bars and everything. But it's just mainly how it's going now. Is I'm more influenced by the Travis Scotts.
Mhm.
The more ambient sounds. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what I try. I try to be more catchy than anything. You know what I mean? I want my songs to stick in your head. I want you to be shitty all day because you can't get my song out your head.
That's a way to get your buzz going. I tell you
Right,
what.
right,
Sh-
right.
Uh, how's your when I met you, you were rapping with the tracks that you let me hear, you were rapping with a certain set of people. You spit a line in that what was it called? It was on the Jay-Z track. It
Letter to
was
the industry.
Letter to the Industry. You spit a line that said, Ain't nobody got a rhyme scheme like niggas that's on my team. Nothing but lyrical spitters behind me. Now, how has your circle changed since you spit that line? And is that still the case?
No, that was back when I was rapping with that the group Real Music, which I formed that group, put that team together, and we were pretty strong for about, I'd say, maybe 2 years solid. We were doing things major, doing things that other people weren't doing. You know what I mean? Like we started the era of putting on your own shows. A lot of people don't really pay attention to that, but like before we came along, people weren't doing their own shows at like Be Here Now and other bars and shit like that. Like they were, but not like we were doing it. Not like it is now. We're the ones that influenced that. But yeah, that group kind of fell apart for various amount of reasons. And so
Well, I
my
mean, if you
circle,
want to, hey, if you want to air something out, I'm not gonna hold
I
you
mean,
back, bro.
there was just a lot of tension in the group. You know what I mean? Like what initially caused the downfall was I was booking shows, and the two artists that I was in the group with, they would either back out last minute or they just weren't trying to jump on the shows. So I got to the point where, and that's what really burned me, was like the last straw was I booked a show for us up in New Haven at Carl's Tavern, and I built the set completely around all three of us being there to perform it. Well, last minute, both of them back out, and that was just it for me because I didn't have a bunch of solo shit put together at the time. So like I had to go up there with songs that I hadn't recorded yet and perform those that I wasn't familiar with and try to
Mhm.
make that work. And that put me in a bad position. So I told them that flat out, I'm no longer booking shows for us. I'm only booking shows for me. Well, one artist, he understood where I was coming from, and the other, he just snapped, talking about I wanted to steal all the fame, all the glory, and I was trying to do this all for me, and that wasn't the case at all. You know what I mean? Like at this point, you're unreliable. I can't keep booking shows and you not showing up. That's just
Right.
putting me in a very, very bad spot. So from then on, it kind of we just went our separate ways, really, and neither one of them make music. Well, one produces, and then the other, he's half-assing it now, I guess. So
Oh, so
we
so you guys aren't even friends anymore.
no, we're me and one of them aren't necessarily on the greatest terms, but me and the
Yeah.
other, I mean, we're cool. We just it ain't like that no more. You know what I mean?
Do you think maybe it was like a stage fright thing? Like it was, yeah, well, I'll record in the studio, in the comfort of the studio with the people that I know, my boys, but I don't really want to be out there on the stage. And
I couldn't
you think
tell you
some of
that.
them were like that? I'm just asking.
I know for a fact one of them did have like our one of our very first shows. He had mad stage fright, and then his
Right.
mic fucked up mid performance, and like it
Oh,
just went down.
jeez.
It went downhill from there. Like that was one of our very first arguments, within the team and shit, because he was like, we're trying to. That was another the same dude talking about we're trying to steal the glory. It's like it's not our fault that your mic fucked up. You knew the mic was fucked up. You should have asked us for ours. You know what I mean? One of ours. You shouldn't have tried to continue with the show like that.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you because we never really got into like working through the problems. It was just
Right.
more of, you know what, fuck this. Let's just all agree to go our separate ways. So I mean, I can't say whether it might have been some of that. You know what I mean?
Right. So they might, you're saying some of them might feel differently from how you feel, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like that. Back to what you said. Like, would it be stage fright?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like it could have been. It very well could have been. But for one artist, I know the other artist. He continued to make music. He got with a different group. You know what I mean? And started
Right.
doing shows and continued to do that. But he actually announced his retirement recently. So
How would you feel? What did you feel about his material before he announced his retirement?
uh, when I we definitely went
Bro,
very
your
very
reaction says a lot. But go ahead.
separate.
But go ahead.
We went very very separate ways. Like like
Right.
I became more melodic. I changed with the times. He kind of stuck with his whole lyrical and um what am I looking for, lyrical rappy approach, I guess.
Right.
Approach. um but I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not trash by any means. He's just
Right.
it's not my cup of tea anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's not. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a reason why. Like me and him had several conversations. You know, he came before he announced his retirement. He actually came over here one day and we kind of talked it up about shit. And he was saying like he felt like his team, you know, every time he tried to try something else other than what they did, because they do the whole rap and fast Suicide Boys type shit.
Right.
Every time he tried to get, you know, like do some Juice World type shit, because that's what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to try to do Juice World Peep singing, you know, more melodic type shit. Every time he would do that, they would just shoot him down and, you know, tell him no.
So
Basically,
he
like
had no creative control, is what it is.
no, because he relied on them for recording. And I don't know whether it was just because he didn't want to disappoint them or he just didn't have the money to record somewhere else. And I even offered to recording him at a discounted price. You know what I mean? You know,
Right.
you can come over here because I'm not going to judge you. You know what I mean? And I'm going to help get you right because I think
Right. You
about
get
it.
and you getting paid
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. So I don't, and like he came over here and talked to me about the shit. And um, fuck, I forgot where I was kind of going with that. But yeah, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought on that. But
Lost in the moment.
yeah,
Hey, we
but
can
like
we
if he would pursue that sound, I think he would be kind of more successful. He would need some work, obviously, because his voice isn't used to singing and shit like that. But I think
right.
he would you know find some success in that lane. He just needs to find the confidence to go.
Is there any success without the vocals being the the melodies, the singing? Is there any is there a lane in rap for a lack of that in today?
I will okay. It just depends on what you view as success. Like, can you have a consistent fan base and perform and and actually make a living off of that style? Yes, you can.
Right.
Will you blow up big like the major artists? I highly doubt it. Because you don't see anybody up there with the Drakes and the
Right.
Waynes and the
It's not
Travis.
commercial is what you're
You
saying.
don't, yeah, you don't. It's not commercial anymore. The melodic stuff is, you know what I mean. So if you
Right.
want to go commercial, and I'm not saying commercial isn't like sell out. I'm saying if you want to make it to that level of success, then that's more so what you have to lean towards. Now, can you blend your own styles of it? Yes, you probably can. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I do. I blend both of my styles. I still hit the rap every once in a while. You know what I mean? Hit the bars heavy, but I just enjoy singing more. So
Well, you already just brought it up. What's it gonna take for XO to blow?
it's just gonna
No
take that.
homo. Pause. Pause.
It's really it's just gonna take being heard by the right people. I'm not in this to look for like a record deal or anything, but I would definitely take a distribution deal, meaning, I get money from a label to distribute how I see fit.
Hmm.
And then it's the same concept, only I would have creative control. Um, and on top of that, like really, you don't even need a label nowadays, just because the internet. You can market yourself on the internet, and that's mainly what I need to buckle down and learn more of the business side of it, all the algorithms to the social media and shit like that.
You know, that's how Soldier Boy blew up, the
Yep.
internet.
Yeah, and a lot of people
Man,
downplay his success. Like if it wasn't for Soldier Boy and Wiz Khalifa, YouTube wouldn't be what it is today. Period. Because they were
I
not
could
gonna put that on the map.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. You know, you were just speaking about you'd want a distribution deal. I mean, what do do you are you selling your music? Are you giving it away for free? Where can you find XO music? Where can you find your
Right now,
content if you wanted to own it?
right now it depends on the content. Because right now what I'm going through is what I'm going through and doing is releasing old music that I did not purchase beats for.
Yeah.
Um, and that's because like I was still messing around with my sound, still trying to get my studio down pat. So I'm going through and releasing stuff like that, and I'm releasing it for free because obviously you can't make money off of it if you haven't
Right.
purchased the beat. And I'm
Actually.
releasing all that on YouTube and SoundCloud, and then the stuff that I do purchase, which I do have several songs on all streaming platforms. That's where I'll release that at.
All right. Well, do you have any plugs? You said you had a show coming up. I mean, I know you've done several shows at Be Here Now. You got anything on the map, on the calendar coming up soon?
Right now, no. We had I think it was 3 weeks ago. We just performed at Be Here Now, put on our own show, and it was pretty successful. Even the amount of bullshit we had to put up with, artists backing out, not showing up.
Oh,
You know,
really? So you kind of dealing with the same thing you was dealing with, beforehand, but they
yeah,
weren't.
but they're not, within my team. Those
Yeah, they
artists
weren't
are,
associated with your team. Okay, I
yeah,
got you.
and they missed out too because we paid the artists to perform. Like what this round we decided not to, but the last
Hmm.
show, the show before the last one, and then shows going forward, we break them off payment from door fees and stuff like that. Um, so that's really on an L on them.
I mean that seems like some bread because there's some pretty big turnouts to your shows. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I've
we
seen a
do
lot of
have
people in there.
some
So
pretty crowd turnouts. Yeah, but as far as right now, we don't have anything on the books. Everybody in my team's pretty much going through some things right now. Like
yeah,
Doty's working on his album. I'm working on 3 albums right now of my own. On
three of
top
them.
on top of I'm the one that mix and masters Doty's album, and then
Mm.
I'm working on Gary Carmichael's album.
So,
Kiko just had his son literally last night.
oh,
Uh,
gee,
T Faith,
congratulations, Kiko.
yeah. Shout out my boy Kiko. T Faith is in the process of moving in his house right now, so like we just got so much shit going on within the team that
Right.
we haven't really buckled down and locked in a date. However, I do. I'm in the talks with Be Here Now right now about performing on my birthday, which is January 1st. I'm trying to book a date for there. So
I think
I
they probably like having you guys there. I mean, like I said, there's a big turnout at you guys shows, and that brings money into the door, not just for you guys. So
yeah. I mean, we bringing a lot of bread through the door fees, and not even just that. I can't imagine how much they're making off the bar. You know what I mean?
absolutely, I know the door is always open for you guys there, and if it ain't, I don't know why.
Right, right.
So,
There was some bullshit that popped off with TME's last show. I guess there was like a shootout out back
oh,
afterwards and shit. So they damn near canceled the whole hip hop scene. But we came in and prevented
wow.
that.
Hold
It was
on,
like,
hold on. Pause. You said they damn near canceled the whole hip hop scene. So
exactly.
you're telling me right now that because there was a shootout at that particular show that they just said, oh well, this has to be the hip hop scene.
Well, the thing is, they had valuable proof that it was. There was a confrontation inside at during the show with the person involving the person that put on the show,
Oh
and then
wow.
afterwards, the same people got into the bullshit right outside. So
Okay.
it was directly linked with them. You know what I mean? But that you can't base that off of hip hop. You know what I mean? You base that off of him, which they did ban him. He can't do shows anymore. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm just glad they didn't single everybody out because that would
yeah,
be ridiculous in my
yeah.
opinion.
And we got him to give us a chance, and we proved him that we can coordinate a good night. Like I had to do so much shit to make that night go smooth, just because artists backing out last minute and not we had a couple artists show up late. It was just it was hard to handle. You know what I mean? But I had to put my business hat on and handle the shit. You feel me?
Your business hat on. When that
Yeah,
stuff happens for me, I put my hard hat on, but we gonna go into all that right now. You know what I mean? You
right.
you told me earlier that you're a Houston Rockets fan.
Yes,
Houston, how
sir.
how long you been a Rockets fan?
Honestly, okay, so I liked the Rockets back when it was Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis, Yao
Okay.
Ming, all of them, and then like I kind of transitioned into a Lakers fan for a while because of Kobe. But then when Harden went back to Houston, I was like, oh yeah, going right back to my Houston boys.
Going right. So you guys got Russell Westbrook and look. Okay, hold on before you. Again, your face says a lot, but again, I'm not gonna go into it all. But Russell Westbrook is a controversial. Just his name is controversial to me because of his style of play.
Yeah.
Like I always said, Russell Westbrook's career is gonna be about numbers, but it won't be about winning. How do you feel about having him on your roster right now?
Right
What do
when
you
I
think about him?
right when I found out about him coming to the Rockets, I was like, no. Now you
Hmm.
got two star players that don't play defense.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck is that going to work out? And they both want to control the ball. So I immediately was kind of against it. Now, mind you, they made it work, but I still, like you said, I think it's highly controversial. And honestly, at this point, we can get a lot out of him if we just trade him.
Well, what would you like to get for him? What would be ideal? And do you think that there's a market for him? I
I
mean,
think there's definitely a market for him. There are teams that are struggling that would take what Russell Westbrook in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Especially teams that don't have dominant guards, basically. Now, I
Right.
can't name you any particular teams. I haven't really paid attention to the NBA because of COVID. I just kind of lost interest. But I think we need to trade him for a fast moving big man, honestly, for to match our style of play and still get rebounds.
Anybody like a Giannis or what?
Yeah, but Giannis, I don't think Giannis and Harden would work out. I just don't see it working out. Both would want complete ball control, and I mean, it might. I don't know. It
I mean,
could
well,
work.
the NBA is, geared toward having three superstar players or more, whatever they can put together. So, I mean, is there a name out there that you think would mesh well with Harden? Because obviously Harden is staying on the team. Like, you don't want to shop Harden. You want to get rid of Westbrook, but you want to keep Harden. Go ahead.
I mean, if it depends on what if we're talking realistic or unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
unrealistically, I'd like to see Zion.
Oh, well, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, it's definitely not realistic, but go ahead.
That's what unrealistically, Zion would fucking dominate him and fucking Harden together. That would be monstrous, crazy. But honestly, like I said, I can't name anybody in particular that I could see coming there. I know a lot of people don't want to play with Harden.
Do you think that more people, okay, you got Harden over here and you got Westbrook over here. Do you think more people would rather play with Westbrook or Harden, or is it or neither?
I think people would prefer to play with Harden versus Westbrook
No, that's
because
yeah.
Westbrook Harden throws up some crazy ass shots. He shoots the
Hmm.
ball a lot, but he still drops triple double or double doubles. You know what I mean? He still
Right.
scores a lot.
Yeah.
Westbrook, that motherfucker throws up anything. It don't matter where he's at. If he's open, not even if he's open, he just throws up some wild ass shots, and he's just got a badass attitude.
La- Last thing on Russell Westbrook. Obviously, 2 seasons in a row, triple double average. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of those games, and I saw how he got some of those rebounds, moving and going, and all that. But, anyways, two back-to-back seasons, triple double, MVP season, the first one. They kind of had to give it to him. Russell Westbrook versus Allen Iverson,
Oof, oof. I might have to give it to Russ, man, just because of the size.
just because of the size.
Because of the size, like
Look,
you're not AI is not going to be able to really. He's just as athletic, but he's just not going to be able to rise on him. He's not going to be able to
well, I'm
drive
not.
in.
I'm not saying heads up. I mean,
Okay.
I'm saying which one, as far as what they've done. Obviously, Iverson's done.
Oh,
Westbrook is still going, but as of right now, who would you give the edge to? Who would you give the edge to as far as what they've accomplished?
uh, I'd have to say AI. AI was more all around than Russell Westbrook was. I mean, AI
Mm,
had defense. You know what I mean? AI
right.
could he distributed the ball extremely well. He wasn't selfish all the time. He's just all overall
Some
better
people
player.
say he was.
I mean, he had every great player has to be selfish. You know what I
Right.
mean? Every
Yeah.
player that can score at will has to be selfish. Period.
Absolutely.
Period. If you know you can score the ball, shoot the shot.
I couldn't say that better, man. Like I said, I'm gonna give the edge to AI because and at the end of the day, this is about championships. This is not about stats. I mean, the stats look good. Hopefully, they'll get you into the Hall of Fame. But AI actually, they didn't win. They went to the NBA Finals
Hmm.
versus the Lakers, my squad. You know what I mean? My squad. Anyways, and they won the first game, and then they didn't win another game.
Hmm.
But he got his team there.
Yeah,
Russell
him
Westbrook is
alone.
taking, Russell Westbrook has been taking first round playoff exits post Kevin Durant. So the stats,
Yeah.
and they're limping into the playoffs. So the stats don't really translate to
And
wins.
the proof is in the pudding. Westbrook needs other players that are dominant to make it to later rounds in the playoffs. AI
Ex-
doesn't.
exactly, because he got with obviously James Harden, and I was just about to go into that because last season, obviously, well, which the season that just ended, they barely got past Oklahoma City, ironically, four
Right.
games to three. It's
Right.
ironic as hell because they just got rid of Russell
Well,
Westbrook
that's
and they
because Chris
almost got
Paul had a
beat by.
chip on his shoulder, man. Chris Paul had that chip on his shoulder. He had something to prove in that.
Oh, well, I'm just saying had to have been because they were right there blow for blow with them, but they did get past them and then lost 4-1 to my Lakers. Let's get that out there again. But what do you feel about next season? Do you feel like you guys are going to contend? You went to the second round, you lost 4-1 to my Lakers, but next season, do you think you're going to contend for a title, or do you think it's going to take that
It's
move you were alluding to earlier?
definitely gonna take some off-season moves, which not really much of an off-season. The season starts in like a fucking month, but it's
Right.
gonna take some trades, man, because obviously their style of play couldn't keep up with the Lakers. I mean that run and gun ball, it works against most teams, but when you come against a player with the IQ of LeBron, you need something else. And really, I just
Absolutely.
think they got outdone because they had nobody that could hang in there with Anthony Davis.
So you feel like Anthony Davis was the man out there?
No, both of them, LeBron and Anthony, and really it was the entire Lakers team. Their depth is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? We need more bench depth if we're gonna beat the Lakers in a fucking 7 game series.
Are you are you okay with them keeping Russell Westbrook at
Uh,
all? Like, are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it if they fill in some of the missing pieces, if they manage to do that. But I don't know that they can do that without getting rid of him.
Yeah. I just feel like they need to get rid of him. I mean,
We don't need him.
I
You
don't.
know,
I feel like Oklahoma City would have, and some people disagree with this because they have a strain on Kevin Durant, but they would have been way better off if they kept Kevin Durant and shopped, Russell Westbrook. Obviously, Kevin Durant went on to win titles, and
yeah,
he's with Boston now, or Brooklyn rather.
Brooklyn.
But let's go ahead and get away from that. And you're a Steelers fan. We got a big game coming up. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. You got, this is for first place in the NFC North.
Yep.
How do you feel about the game? Let's just go ahead and get on with that. Like, how do you
Here's
feel? Obviously,
go
you're a
for it.
Steelers fan before you get started, but I want
Yeah.
you, don't
Yeah.
cap. And for people that don't know what that means, don't lie. Tell the
Oh no.
truth. You're a
The
Steelers fan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore Steelers fan, always have been, and this is without me being a biased Steelers fan. I think that they will shut the Ravens down. For one, I've never seen the Steelers defense look like this, and they've put so much pressure on every single
Mhm.
quarterback, every one that they've come against, and shut them down. Now Lamar, the way we've been rushing, we collapse the pocket around the
Mhm.
quarterback. Lamar's gonna have to
Lamar,
do some serious running, some
well,
serious.
Lamar's good at finding the holes in those
He
pockets. You
is,
know what I mean?
but we're gonna. I guarantee you, we're gonna come with a game plan that is more based around him being able to run out of that pocket.
Mike Tomlin's game preparation is underrated for sure.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah. From what he's had to deal with, man, he's put a hell of a team together every fucking year. You know, dealing with
yeah,
attitude, locker room attitudes like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell at the same time, still
yeah.
managed to contain it. You know what I mean, as well as he could. No other coach would have put up with that shit.
I completely agree. Belichick ain't putting up with that.
Hell
People will
no.
be suspended and or released.
You see what they did to Martavis Bryant a few years ago. You know, he voiced his little opinion. He got benched. And the game,
Exactly.
the game
Exactly.
was an important game, but he still benched him. You know what I mean? That just shows a lot about Tomlin's character. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's a real no nonsense kind of guy, and that's the kind of guy you got to have in your locker room.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so we're just gonna go down the list right here because we got a big matchup. Like I said, this is for first place and bragging rights. I mean, this is a rivalry. Ben Roethlisberger versus Lamar Jackson. Who is the better player here?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I mean, Ben obviously has a ring. He's proved himself, but Ben's
Yes.
also on his way out. You know, on the
Yeah.
tail end of his career. Lamar is young and up and coming, and I think Lamar has potential to be a better quarterback. You know, eventually, yeah. But when it comes to right now, Ben has the more experience. You know what I mean?
So Ben's the quarterback you want on your team right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
If you could, if the Ravens were like, look, go on, take Lamar, bring Ben over here. We want that veteran leadership. Are you taking that? I mean, if it's only for 1 year, this is completely fantasy because obviously you would take that because you would want the younger quarterback for the future going forward. Obviously, you would want that, but if you could do it for one year and you can get Lamar instead of Ben, would you do that, or would you ride with Ben?
I would have to ride with Ben, man. See it out, see it all the way through. Give me 1 second, man. I forgot to plug my computer in. I gotta.
Go ahead. Go ahead. If you're looking for premium carpet care in or around the Muncie, Indiana area, do yourself a favor and choose Workman Carpet Care. You know, Chris Workman has spent nearly 2 decades honing his craft and perfecting his methods. This isn't some huge upscale carpet care company that just views their clientele as a number. No, but you do get the service of that huge upscale carpet care company. You get that service along with a very, very hands-on staff that are not going to leave the job until it's done, and most importantly, they're not going to leave until the customer is absolutely 100% satisfied. In addition to that, it doesn't end with the carpet. Workman Carpet Care also restores sofas and other furniture to where it looks brand new again. I mean, obviously, be reasonable with it. You ain't gonna dump a bunch of oil into your couch and then expect somebody to extract that. I mean, that's not coming out, let's be real. But Chris Workman and Workman Carpet Care in general does a phenomenal job at very, very deep cleaning sofas until they look brand new, in my opinion. Is your car an absolute mess? Call Workman Carpet Care and completely flip the script on your interior. Bottom line is, when you choose Workman Carpet Care, you're going to tell all your friends and family about it, all the quality and the customer service you received, and I'd bet every last bit of King Midas's gold that you yourself will continue to choose Workman Carpet Care again and again. Call 765-749-4268 to get a quote or schedule an appointment for treatment. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Again, that's 765-749-4268. Call today. Here, if for one, okay, obviously you can't just trade a guy and get him back the next year. That's not how this works. So this is completely hypothetical, completely fantasy. If you could get Lamar Jackson, let's say for this season, instead of Ben Roethlisberger, but you know, like I said, it goes back next season. But just for one season, would you trade Ben Roethlisberger and get Lamar Jackson? Because obviously, if you could keep Lamar Jackson, you'd do it because he's younger. But you can only do it for one season. Would you do it?
No. The reason being team chemistry. Ben Roethlisberger already has the team chemistry with what he's got. You know what I mean? And we have a hell of a receiving core. To fuck that up just for a quarterback that can run fast. And don't get me wrong, he can throw the ball.
Definitely.
But I couldn't take that L. I couldn't risk that.
Yeah. I mean, that's spoken. There's a fly in here? Wow. Unbelievable. Man, the nerve. Wow, ridiculous. But you can tell you're a real fan, because you know what I mean. Ben Roethlisberger's, it's different for me. I'm a Niners fan. We got Jimmy G. Jimmy G is suspect a lot of the time. So obviously, if I could get a better quarterback, I would do that. But Ben Roethlisberger's been there for as long as he's been there. That's his team, and you've been a fan, so his team is your team. So yeah, obviously you're a real fan with that.
Yeah, it kind of hurt watching Mason Rudolph fuck the team up last year. And
Oh wow, bro! Like I'm Mason Rudolph. His name is gonna live in infamy because of what happened with what was his name?
I can't even remember.
Man, Myles Garrett. Was it Myles Garrett?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you off.
Oh man, smacked him in
that part right there. I kind of blacked that out. You know, I don't want to remember my.
I understand, bro. I've had Niner seasons just the same exact way. Mm-hmm. So right now, just to recap on the original question, you're saying the better quarterback right now is Ben Roethlisberger and not Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and that's just because of veteranship.
All right, so I told you not to cap beforehand, but yeah, I'm gonna take your opinion as it comes. We're gonna move on to the running back position. We got James Conner, Benny Snell Jr. versus J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram. Who you giving the edge to here?
Man, I'm riding with my boys, man.
This is gonna be a wash, ain't it?
It's gonna be a wash, man. Like, just James Conner he's a motivational person. His story alone, man, it's just, you see it when he plays, the intensity. you see how he endured through that the pain of cancer, defeating that, and he used it as fuel. You know what I mean?
Right.
You see it every time he grabs that ball, he runs with that aggression.
So it's a inspirational story. It jerks at your feelings. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
oh yeah.
And and honestly, now that I'm looking, man, like it must have touched you like real good because I think I see a little bit of tears.
Oh
Is
fuck
that?
out of here!
Oh man, yeah. Hey,
Oh
hey,
fuck out of
hey,
here!
I understand, bro. Like you're emotionally invested in this team. And I've been there, bro.
Hey, I ride with my homies. You know what I mean?
I
I
feel it.
ride with them.
I
Ride or
feel
die.
it. So okay, you picked James Conner and Benny Snell, and honestly, I'd have picked James Conner and Benny Snell. So I feel you on that one. I'm a little about Lamar Jackson versus Big Ben, but we're not gonna go into that. We're getting your opinions. Let's move on to the wide receiver position. Juju Smith-Schuster, obviously, and you guys got a new guy, this Chase Claypool kid. He's been lighting it up. He's almost like the number one receiver, in my opinion. He's a really good big target, sure
Not
hands
past,
for
not
Ben
past
Roethlisberger.
Deontay. Not
Say
past
what?
Deontay. Deontay Johnson's killing it.
I don't know, man.
Killing it.
Deontay Johnson is doing his thing. Obviously, Smith Schuster is the name. He's the
Mhm.
name. He's he was the guy coming in. He's tall, fast. We're not gonna get into it with him, but I feel like this season Claypool has been doing it. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. But Claypool, here's the thing though. Claypool showed up when Deontay was out. That's when he showed
Yeah.
off, and we realized that he's got you can utilize him in several different ways. I mean, we were basically handing the ball off to him like he was a running back. But the minute Deontay Johnson came back last week, you've seen what he did. He went the fuck off. What
Well,
was your
yeah. I feel like having all of those receivers out there made let Deontay go off more than what he. I don't feel like he was going off like that before.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was.
feel like he was. Was he?
He was.
I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't watched the Steelers as close as you have, but
Yeah, he's putting up big points, man. I'll say week 1 was a little soft, but week 2 and 3, he did his thing.
So you're
No,
saying So was Deontay the number one guy over Smith Schuster, or
he was targeted more. I'm not gonna say he was the number 1 guy, but he was
right?
targeted more. But that's
Well, I
because
mean,
Smith Schuster's a deadly weapon. They're gonna double team him.
absolutely. So on the other side, you got Willie Snead and Hollywood Marquise Brown. Who you
Mhm.
give it? Who you giving the edge to as far as
Obviously, we have the better
receiving core?
receivers. We have the better receivers. Period.
Okay. All
Period.
right.
Got more depth.
So
You know what I mean? Even our 4th and 5th stringers. You know what I mean? They're out there. You know what I mean?
okay, well, I definitely agree with you on that as well. I mean, obviously, you guys got a better receiving core. I felt like you had a better receiving core without Deontay. So
Yeah, true. Yeah.
but with that being said, the defense is what you said earlier. You said you guys always put pressure on quarterbacks. You fluster their timing. You guys get it done defensively. The Ravens are actually ranked right now. They have the number one defense in the league, and you guys are
Yeah.
sitting at number 4.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's going to be a tough battle. That's why I think this game's going to be more defensive on both sides. You know what I mean? It's going to
Mm.
depend on which defense lapses first, which
It's
defense
gonna
makes the first mistake. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, I feel that, bro. But what I'm saying is that defensively, you guys have been holding down historic defenses in that division. You guys have had the steel curtain. Obviously, you guys have had good defenses well after that. You know what I mean? And obviously, the Ravens with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I can name other guys, but who do you think historically is the better defense that in that division? And I know that you can give the Steelers the edge because the Steelers have been around longer. Obviously the Ravens used to be the Browns. They moved the Browns to Baltimore and made them the Ravens, and they brought the Browns back separately. So the Ravens haven't been around as long, but just historically on what they've done, who do you give the edge to, the Steelers or the Ravens?
Historically, I'd have to say the
But you got to
Steelers
you got to you got to you got to
have.
grade you got to grade it on a curve because you got to grade it. Like obviously you can't go all the way back. Like Terry Bradshaw won Super Bowls, with
Yeah,
if you add that, it's a wash. It's not even close.
yeah. And that's where I was headed towards too.
I'm
So
saying since Ray Lewis, and you said Ben's been to the Super Bowl, he's won it.
mhm.
So since Ray Lewis, say who would you say has been the better defense historically?
Since Ray Lewis,
Yeah,
I would have to say the Ravens. The Ravens have had better defense. You know, s- mm, it just yeah. I would have to say that I'd have to give it to the Ravens more than likely because like after we lost Palomalo and Ike Taylor and
Mhm.
people like that and fuck I can't remember his name Farrier.
Fair, yeah.
And after we lost them, it was kind of like we our defense went downhill. Made a lot like we were the most heavily penalized defense for several years in a
Oh
row.
man, that
But
is frustrating.
and we started to get somewhere until we lost Ryan Shazier, and then our defense fell apart again. So I would have to
Yeah.
give it to the Ravens. They've stayed stronger. You know what I mean? So
Well, I mean, having Ed Reed and Ray Lewis helps, you know what I mean. But I feel like you guys have had some good defenses since then too, because you guys have been to the Super Bowl. You guys have been deep in the playoffs, you know, like that. So I feel like you guys. I mean, I know you guys. Didn't you guys lose to Aaron Rodgers one year?
yeah, yeah. Lil Wayne fucking cursed that fucking.
Oh,
Uh,
did he?
he
Why you can put it on Lil Wayne? Explain
he
that.
dropped that fucking green and yellow song.
Oh, so you
And,
oh so
and
they
then he
had to
literally,
win then.
yeah, and then he literally said touchdown over Ike Taylor. That was in one of his bars. And then what the fuck happens in the Super Bowl? Touchdown over Ike Taylor. It's like, bro, you Illuminati this shit.
He's like he got to be a part of the Illuminati
Oh
for the
man.
stuff he's been doing.
But Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. I think we just
Yeah, he
underestimated
is.
him that year. Yeah, but it is what it is. We coming for it this year. you know.
Y'all ain't coming for a damn thing. Yeah, listen. Like before I segue into the next part, listen. The 49ers just went to the Super Bowl, okay? Everybody's like, "Ah, well, you know, it's a fluke. It's done for him. It's over." Bro, we've been really really hurt, right? As soon as we get back in stride, we're going back to the bowl. You heard it here first on Championship Rounds with Marcel Pierre featuring
You gotta
XO.
make it. You gotta make it past us.
Not a problem. Hey,
Nah,
not a problem. But not a problem. But we'll see you in the Super Bowl if you can make it.
yeah, you'll
So,
see how Jimmy it really is.
hey, it's not. Hey, Jimmy G. Hey, listen, I'm not a huge Jimmy G guy, but I just don't want him to lose the game for us. Like he has those suspect throws where he throws, you know, interceptions in critical
You
moments,
guys
and
have always had quarterbacks that make terrible decisions. Always, not
mm,
always, but within the past few years.
agreed. I feel like Alex Smith was probably, as far as decision making and game managing, he was probably better than Kaepernick
Oh yeah,
and Jimmy G as far as managing the game.
I think he's a better quarterback all around than both of them.
Hey, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't say that opinion is anywhere less, you know, true than mine. You know what I mean? I don't all around quarterback. I really would like a quarterback that has. I mean, obviously, you want a quarterback that won't lose the game for you, is a great game manager, but I need them to have like an X factor, something that's going to put them above the curve, whether it be like a strong arm, a really, really strong arm, or quarterback vision, you know, pocket presence, all of that, you know, anything, an X factor. And I feel like Alex Smith got out there and he ran out a little bit, you know what I mean? He was mobile, but I feel like he just didn't make the big plays in the big moments
All right,
because he was a game manager.
his time was
But
short lived too.
it was definitely short lived. I mean, when Harbaugh came, he definitely took a liking to Kaepernick versus Smith.
Hmm.
But you know, Alex Smith was mad when Peyton Manning became available, and we were talking about getting Peyton Manning. He was already pissed from then. But let's move on. You said you was an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Like, how easy is it to be an Alabama fan? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, the only
Listen before you get started? Hold on. Alabama has won 17 national titles. All right, 17 of them. All right, I know you weren't around for those 17 national titles. Okay, but so we're just gonna go since 1992. Nick Saban won a national title with him in 2009, and he's won 5 total. Like, how long have you been a national or an Alabama Crimson Tide fan? And don't lie.
all right. So the truth is, I don't follow college football like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I was ever a Crimson Tide fan was because of Trent Richardson.
Oh,
That
okay.
that was it. I
Trent
liked
Richardson.
I liked the way he ran, and their team was just overall. I can't even remember the quarterback to be honest with you. That's how much I don't watch college football anymore. Uh, who was their quarterback at the time? Because he came to the draft the same time as Andrew Luck.
I don't want to say a name and be completely wrong because this is championship rounds, and I want to say AJ McCarron, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I
Okay.
like AJ McCarron. I knew he would flop though. I knew he was going to be a flop in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then
I think we've lost him. We've lost him.
yo,
All right. You're back. You back? I was
yeah.
like, I think I lost
I
him.
was like, what the hell just happened?
All
But
right.
like I was saying, I don't blame Trent flopping necessarily on him. He just went to teams that didn't have very good lines.
So you think Trent Richardson flopping was based on the teams not having offensive lines?
I mean, you can't really run the ball if you're not getting the blocks.
Man. But he was a beast. Oh, so you got the Gatorade, on the same level as your boy. You know what I mean?
Stay
But
hydrated.
yeah, exactly. So you saying he wasn't getting the blocks, but in college he was just so dynamic. I know they had the big uglies at Alabama, so
Come on,
obviously,
man. In college, they don't know how to really tackle and shit.
man, I don't know, bro. That's where you're honing your talent. That's where you're trying to get
Yeah, but
noticed to get to the league. I mean,
see the
tackling. I mean, I play college football. Tackling is the fundamentals are definitely instilled. You know
But
what I
you
mean?
see the difference in running backs from how dominant they were in college
Hmm.
to how dominant they are in the NFL. It's completely different. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're more what- they target better in the NFL. You know, they target their tackles better in the NFL,
Right.
and it's easier to dominate in college.
Yeah, you kind of gotta target your tackles better in the NFL these days. Or you're gonna be paying fines and getting suspended, and
Hmm.
you know what I mean. It's just
Yep.
it's
Get hit
not
the
the same
wrong
game.
way. You know, I mean, fuck them are some. They're a lot bigger in the NFL than they are in college.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Alabama right now, and sticking to the same subject, Alabama right now undefeated, 5-0. Okay, then they're playing what's Mississippi State, who is, let's see, I got it in my phone right here. Mississippi State is 1-3. You guys are 2 in the nation. Are you guys gonna win national title game or national title this year? Yes or no?
I couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't tell you because I haven't been watching
Nick Saban has won 5 national titles. Alabama is always selected to be in the national title playoffs. Okay, let alone his last one was in 2017. That ain't that long ago. You know what I mean? You guys are undefeated, 5-0. Obviously, you're gonna win this week.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's a no-brainer.
national title.
I,
Nick
I,
Saban. Do you believe in these guys and Nick Saban or?
yeah, I do. I definitely do. Nick Saban is fucking brilliant. He always has been. He's he's like the Bill Belichick of the college world, basically, in my opinion.
I feel like I've said that to you before, bro. Don't even.
You might
If you
have.
got that, hey, if you got that for me, yeah, okay, cool. Because I feel like I've
I'm
said that because
I'm
I've
not
said that to a
sure.
lot of people,
Yeah,
like seriously. But so that obviously I totally agree with you. Like definitely Alabama. Like I wouldn't put it past them to go to the national championship game and win. Obviously they're going to be in the playoffs. The
oh yeah.
SEC, has been the class of the college football world for quite some time now. Big
Mhm.
Ten moonlights, you know what I
I,
mean? You
I
guys
heard
going to be.
I heard they were talking about moving teams around to shift that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Shift that away from the SEC being dominant.
Right.
Moving conferences around. I know that that was in the talks with like the Big Ten and shit like that.
Yeah, what's the Big Ten gonna do? Like Big Ten is just a brand. They got like 13 teams in there now or something
Yeah,
crazy like that.
I don't
So,
know.
but
Only
they've
thing
been. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to move them around because obviously they've done it several times. They've moved the Big 12 around, the ACC around. They've moved several conferences around, Pac-10. You know what I mean? So they do it all the time, and they can do it at their discretion.
as they should, man.
Hmm.
Give teams. There's so many college teams out there, and there's so many teams that are extremely good and probably could compete for the
Right.
title, but they don't get the chance because of the conference that they're in. So,
Do you
in my opinion, it should move around like maybe every 4 years or so.
that frequently?
I mean,
I mean,
I'm not
that would really shake things up. I mean, you gotta understand that it's only the big schools that are getting this. It's
saying,
not the little ones. that are getting moved around because they aren't even in the.
I guarantee you, there's a little team out there that could probably beat the shit out of Alabama. Guarantee it.
I don't know, bro. Like I don't. I guess it's possible. The boys got to see up and play, but they ain't getting the recruits Alabama's getting. Let's be real. You know what I mean? They ain't getting them recruits.
So, I mean, it's you see it in the NFL all the time, especially prime case Tom Brady. You got a player that wasn't necessarily.
No. Tom Brady went to Michigan, bro. Michigan isn't a slouch.
I'm talking about.
I'm talking about smaller schools.
I'm talking about. Okay, you see players go late in the draft,
Mm-hmm.
extremely late in the draft in the NFL. Nobody expected them to be, crazy good, and then they come out and be one of the most dominant players ever.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I mean, that could happen. That could be from a lack of scouting in this player, a player just not being on the radar. Oh, we don't know about this guy.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So
you mentioned like they're just not getting the recruits like that. That's not necessarily, that's not all that matters. You know what I mean? Because some players never get looked at, but they're still fucking amazing.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But I'm saying it's harder to find those guys. But the guys that and the guys that have showed you they could play could flop. Trent Richardson. But so we don't need to go back to that. So you're a dad now, man. So we're gonna touch on that. How old's your kid now?
My son will be 3 on November 20th.
Oh, it'll be 3 on November 20th. Okay, what's his name again? I feel like an asshole. I don't even know his name. Steele Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that came from.
I'm not even gonna try to guess.
What's fucked up is she wouldn't let me name him what I wanted to name him, but she let me name him after my favorite football team. That's fucking insane.
What did you want to name him?
Nazir.
Like so, kind of like Nas.
Yeah, that's exactly who he's gonna be named after. Nas.
Why wouldn't she let you do that?
It sounds Muslim.
That probably ain't a good look because all you're missing is a turban. To be honest with you,
fuck you.
Because you could definitely pass.
Right,
no, I don't want to be. You could definitely pass, bro. I could see you out here. Don't look in my face.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just playing with you, buddy. So
your podcast canceled, motherfucker.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to edit that shit out then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh shit.
Cancel culture out here heavy right now, boy.
Yeah. So I better be careful. I just feel like, I know obviously Rogan's on Spotify and shit, but I feel like he's on there saying whatever the hell he wants to say.
Yeah, but
so I'm saying, why can't I?
Don't get he has the power to not get canceled. You ain't made it. You gotta be up here.
Yeah. Let me slow down. You know what I mean? I'm definitely editing that shit out.
Yeah,
I 100%. Please believe. So when you see the clip, you'll know what happened. You know what I mean? Because I'll keep this part in, but that shit's gotta go. So, but how's your life changed since you had a kid, man?
Man, it changed dramatically, man. Because before my son was here, I was out there doing stupid shit, not giving a fuck about holding a job down.
Mm-hmm.
Really wasn't even serious about music like that. Like I thought I was, but I really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Once my son was here, I realized I'm living for not just me, but for him. I have to provide him a better life. I have to support him, raise him. So, I eventually, right when he was born, I started the job that I'm at now, which I've been there 3 years, basically. You know what I mean? Well, actually, it is 3 years now.
Right.
But been there 3 years. I worked at Harbor Freight for like 6 years, but that was a bullshit job, man. I wasn't getting no money. I wasn't saving no money. So, I kind of turned things around. I got a good paying job, started saving money. My kid don't want for nothing. Get him anything he needs, anything he wants. I never, I got a new car sitting out there, man. Never pictured myself rolling in a new car, but I made that happen because I decided to mature myself.
Absolutely.
And then I got real serious with music because I want my son to know what it's like to, reach success following your dreams. So I wanted to be that role model, for him. And I want my son to be into music. And what better way to get him into music than for him to be making music with his dad? You know what I mean?
I respect that.
So,
I do.
Yeah.
I just feel like I got to ask you about fatherhood because I'm never gonna be a father. I feel like so. I'm gonna try to
Uh,
live vicariously through you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, okay, what? I'm gonna try to go by people's. I'm gonna ask everybody I have on here, be like, what's that? That's got a kid, because I know that if I had a kid, my life would probably be completely different than what it is right
oh,
now.
it definitely
Yeah,
changes the way you view things, man, and it, it creates a certain love that you never knew that you could feel. Like
right.
you look at this child that you brought into this world, like, yo, I created this life, you know, and it's only right that since you brought this child didn't ask to be put in this world, and it's only right that since you brought this child into this world that you do right by it.
You got to do right by it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to. Obviously, you don't get rewards for doing what you're supposed to do, but you got to do right by it. You know what I mean? That's a whole life, and you're responsible for how it's coming up and how it's gonna,
Right,
you know,
and
be.
being a parent itself is a reward, man. It really is. You don't realize you take a lot of things for granted until you have a child, especially when that little motherfucker acts like you. Then you start
Man.
your parents like, damn, you had to deal with this shit. Like,
Man, I see. That's why I want to know what that's like one day, but it ain't gonna happen for me, I don't think. But it is what it is, bro. Congratulations to you. Don't you got another one on the way? XO baby on the way.
yo, who the fuck is that talking?
Oh man, the streets is talking.
No, anybody
You know
saying
what I
that?
mean? Hey, did I just break news? I
No, you
think I
did.
just did.
We not doing that. One is enough for. I'll
You're not having any more, or what's that going?
two more eventually, but one is enough for now. Let me
Oh,
get
okay.
my feet and let me actually break into the industry before I got.
Yeah, I feel that, because that is kids are expensive.
Oh my god, they are, bro. They are. They don't. It's ridiculous. You have no idea until you're in that position.
Well, I'll probably never be, but you know what I mean. I'll definitely take your word for
And you can knock the off and get one knocked up. You know.
Hey, I'm not just gonna be out here just spraying and praying, but you know what it is. And speaking of spraying and praying, which is your game plan, you know what I mean, out there on Warzone. And when I say spraying and praying, you know what I mean, you just be spraying, hoping you're hitting these guys. I'm just like,
That KD says otherwise, young blood.
yeah, definitely says otherwise. But I'm bringing up Call of Duty Warzone because obviously I know that I'm not the best player, but why can't I get a run every now and then?
Motherfucker, I just played with you last night.
That was last night though. That was last night, and I feel
No,
like last night you was sitting somewhere like, who's online?
nah, nah, nah,
I guess I'll
nah.
my only dude online. I guess I'll grace him with my presence for a second. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You
How did
told
that
man,
go
like
down?
usually when I get on, like people before I even get on, people the dudes I mainly run with, they're already texting me like, "Yo, we in lobby waiting on you." So like usually I just
Right.
jump in with them, and we always got full lobby. You know what I mean? So typically I run with them, and plus, I mean, we get hella dubs. So, but
Absolutely. I'm trying to be in the car. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Listen. Go ahead.
No, 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 I was agreeing with you. I was,
No, I'm just saying I'm trying to be in the car. You Like I said, I'm not the best player, but I don't have the worst KDR either. I
nah, nah,
know.
definitely.
I know.
That's all that boils down to, man. Is usually like I'm already like people already hit me up to get on and shit. So if I jump in
Yeah.
with them, and we'll run for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. So by the time everybody hops off, I'm ready to hop off. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it ain't, you can get some runs in, man. Shit, I'll
All
probably
right.
be
I'm
on
just
here in a little bit.
all right. Well, then I'll probably be on here in a little bit as well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So if you see me on there, save me a spot. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Because
Uh,
I'm trying to get the dub too.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right. You gonna be getting that Cold War? I think I seen you on the beta that was out.
Yeah. Honestly, I was just thinking last night because it's about to
Mm,
drop in a couple weeks. I was thinking about going
right.
ahead and pre-ordering it for both systems, but I just don't know. Like, I'm thinking of holding off on getting the next gen because I got a couple of pieces of equipment I need to get for the studio. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do
Right.
that. But yeah, I am definitely getting the Cold War. I'm just nervous about what the fuck they're gonna do to Warzone because I like the Cold War beta. It was cool,
Yeah.
but I don't want to lose how Warzone is now. So if they would drop a new version, but still keep this version of Warzone so we can go back and forth, that would be dope. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna be pretty disappointed if it's only the new game style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you want to? Do you want to keep? You want to keep this version of Warzone, but you want there to be a different style?
Yeah,
Like
that
what
way.
style? What style would you prefer?
Well, I
Like
mean,
what?
like,
What new? What? How would you want it to be altered? Is what I'm asking you.
basically, what I mean by that is like you would have to play the beta to understand what I was talking about. Like the
Mm,
gameplay is completely different. You know what I mean? And I like that gameplay, but I don't
right.
want to lose the old because I like the old gameplay too, the one we're playing now.
The one
So
you're used to.
so if they drop a Warzone Cold War version and then
Right.
keep this Modern Warfare version as well, that's what I mean. Like I
Would
want,
you? Would you still play both?
yeah, I'd go back and forth.
No. Okay.
Just because, trust me, once you play Cold War, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're gonna miss the Modern Warfare game style.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't got to pre-order my PS4 yet, so or PS5 rather. So I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to get it.
Well,
I'm gonna get it as soon as it
announced,
becomes available, but
they just announced Black Friday. They're doing deals.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how far those go. I'm trying to get my stuff ordered online. I'm not showing up or spending the night
Well,
nowhere. You know
that's
what
the
I
thing.
mean?
Black Fridays with COVID going on. Black Friday's gonna be
Yeah.
online this year.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's kind of got to be. Thank you, COVID.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you now. Last year, Walmart had this TV. It was a 65-inch for like $230, right?
Yeah.
And the deal dropped at 10 p.m. that night, Thanksgiving night. So literally, me and my baby mama were together at the time. We're sitting there at the crib, refreshing.
Hmm.
Literally, I went to the bathroom for 1 second, and 10:01 hit, and they were sold out. So literally, you're
Absolutely,
gonna
bro.
have to be sitting there refreshing the entire time.
Yeah. See, I completely fell asleep on the first, wave of pre-orders. Like I fell asleep on it. I wasn't even aware of the date that it was actually
Well,
happening. I didn't
they
know.
fucked it up though. Like the PS4 announced that they had fucked it up, the pre-orders. I didn't read the article, but they said that it was on them. The reason why pre-orders went so bad this year and went so fast.
Uh, okay, my dog probably needs to go out, and we've been going for an hour and 3 minutes. Yeah, he's definitely barking out there. So, anything else you want to plug before I let you go?
No, man, just I'm dropping a project. There's no release date. I was thinking about dropping it today, but I'm gonna push that back a little bit further. Probably next week or the week after. It's a project of all my old songs that I recorded
Mm,
but plan on finishing. So the quality's not the best, like the quality that I can deliver now. So be on the lookout for that. It's just called Unmastered Unreleased. Um, Doty's got an album on the way. It's called Closure. We're finishing that up, and that's pretty much just all I got. You know what I mean? Just stay on the lookout because we're about to start dropping songs rapidly.
Hey, I'll definitely be on the lookout. So definitely tag me in any of the releases. I'm gonna share it and put it out there in the world as well.
All right.
XO, thanks for being on the show, and we definitely got to have you on again, man. I'll see you on Call of Duty shortly.
All right.
All right, there you got it. XO.
Hell yeah.
Valentine in December. You say you love me, but you don't remember my name. You cause me pain. All girls are the same. Yeah.
Why you lie to me? Can't find no peace. I let you in, you let me down. I took you in, you took me down. You let me fall and shook the ground, and I am in pieces. Exactly why I'm leaving. You were quite the demon. I'm diving off the deep end like
Valentine in December. You say you love me, but you don't remember my name. You cause me pain. All girls are the same. Yeah.
all girls are the same. You just play your game. You drive me insane. I my emotions. You were fatal to my open heart. I opened up, you closed your arms. When I reached out, you closed your palms and let me fall on broken bones.
Valentine in December, you say you love me, but you don't remember my name. You cause me pain. All girls are the same in the end.